Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today I've been working on a little fall earring using some little tiny buttons from Dress It Up Buttons. They're Fall Medley mix. Very cute. All kinds of little leaves and acorns in there. And I was experimenting. I wasn't sure how well it would work, so I've already made one, and it turned out so cute. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to turn down and I'm going to make the second one with you guys so you can see how I did it. So there's that earring. Isn't that cute? I got some another lever back, some 3 little jump rings, some of the 2 of the acorns, and 6 of the little leaves of different colors from the Fall Medley mix here. And then I've got a piece of 14 gauge wire. This is 4 inches long, just a small earring. And then a little over a foot of 24 gauge wire. And we are going to put this little baby together. So the first thing we needed to do is make this shape. So I used my wire mandrel. We went up here and we just pull it around. Let's see if that's about the right one. It looks like it is. So then I turned the loop on the one side with the smaller of these. The other side out of the way. There we go. Not quite as round as I would like it, but it works. So then all we're going to do is we're going to feed our little pieces on the other side here. And I'm going to try and feed these on opposite. So we want to make sure that when it goes around, it's facing upwards. So we'll go on here. Nope, not that way. This way. Yep. Then the red. An acorn. Let's see. This way. Brown. Orange. The other acorn. Let's make sure these are all facing the way I want them. Yep, they are. Then the green and the yellow. Okay, now that we've got all those on, we'll turn the other loop. Make sure they're about the same size. Pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wire wrap. See how I've done this in the back here? And the wire wrap will go from one side to the other around one of the shank, and that will hold it from wiggling all over the place like these are doing. So the first thing we want to do is to put 4 loops on this side over here to anchor this in place. And you can use your pliers if you need to. I do every once in a while so I can get a good wrap going. So now we're going to move this first one up into place. I've got it backwards here. Come on, turn around. There we go. Roll it over the top of the loops that are already made, and then bring it around the shank. See how I've got it coming around the shank there? And then we're going to wrap a couple loops, and as we wrap these, we're going to push them up. See over here? To steady that shank down some more. Just like so. Now we'll wrap a couple more. These next two are for the next leaf to sit on. So it's going to roll up here in place over the top of the wire, and then we'll pull the wire over around the shank and up over the bar again. So now these are too far apart, so we need to push that up there. And we'll need to push that underneath there again. See, we've got two in there now, like so. Now the next one is the acorn. So we'll do two more. 1 and 2. Push the acorn up over those wires, bring it around the shank, go down on the wire, and push that underneath the acorn. Come on, acorn, let's go. There we go. 1 and 2. Now we have 2 leaves and the acorn in place. Now we're going to go and do the next 2 wraps. 1, 2. Push this orange one over the top of that. Pull the wire over the shank to the other side. Push her into place here. Push our wire into place, and then the next one over there again. Now we have our next 2 for this brown one. And we'll do 1 and 2. Put the brown one in place. Bring the wire around the shank. And as you can see here. And then 2. Pushing that down underneath that leaf. So it's looking so far. So then of course we do our next 2. 1 and down here 2. Our acorn's going to drop over the top of those 2. Come around with the shank over the shank and push it down over here. There we go, like so. And then our second one. There we go. And now the next one is our next leaf. Now these are looking a little bit loose, so we're going to tighten these up some because we need that room up there for the other 2 leaves to go in place. So now we need to put our 2 wires in for the red leaf. Slide it down over the top of them. Come around the shank up to the wire, the base wire again. Tighten her up there. Do the second loop across there. And now we need 2 for our last leaf here. As you can see, this one's getting close to our wires, so we are going to move them. So this has to go up here, and just wiggle these around until we get them into a better place. Now we need 2 wires again. 1 and 2. Our leaf goes down on top. We come around the shank, go down here. Now, since this is the final one, instead of just 2 loops here, we're going to put 4. And there's our 4th one. See how we're looking here. Now we'll trim our wires off. And tuck them in. Okay, now this one is done as far as these are concerned. Now we just need to squish our little pieces in a little more so that they match up to the other side a little better. So now, as you can see, they will move a little bit. They just will not swing all the way to the back, which is good. Now, if you're worried about that, you can pull these together so it tightens up the shank one some. They're still moving, but not too much. So the next step is to put our jump rings and our ear wire on, and then our little earring is finished. So we just need our 2 pair of pliers and our jump rings and ear wire. So we'll just open up our jump rings. First one. Second. Now we take the third one and go through both of those 2. By hanging them downwards when we do it. That way we know that it's going to face the right direction, and our jump rings won't be twisted, one going one way and the other going the other way. Okay, so there we go. There is our second earring. Aren't those cute? I think those turned out adorable. Like I said, the little leaves will still move a little bit, but not an atrocious lot. So I think they turned out really nicely. So there's our little, it's like a little wreath, isn't it? A little fall wreath earring. Those cute, aren't those adorable? I think those turned out quite nicely. I wasn't sure how they would work because, like I said, I was experimenting when I made the first one, and I think they turned out really, really cute. So that's using the Dress It Up Buttons Fall Medley, 4-inch piece of 14 gauge wire. You could use a smaller gauge. I used the largest that the buttons would fit onto so that there was less wiggle. And then about a foot of 24 gauge wire to do the wrapping, 3 little jump rings, and 8 ear wire for each. So yeah, aren't those fun? So I hope you enjoyed making those with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.